Just a little bit over a year ago that we had new nutrient standards being proposed under the Institute of Medicine, and we realized that our flavored milk was too high in sugar to meet the requirements of the Institute of Medicine. So I immediately got in touch with our dairy, M&B, and said we either need to reduce the sugar in our flavored milk or I'll probably have to take it off and not provide it anymore.
What I feel like is that milk is nature's most perfect food. Kids in their formative years need the nutrition of dairy. They need the calcium, they need the 9 essential nutrients that come in milk, and the fact that it's not flavored, some kids just won't drink it. There's already been a study, and 35% of it started going in the trash when they took away the flavored milk. So she challenged me to get it down as far as I could, but not greater than 22 grams per serving. This is called a balance tank, so the milk is raw at this point, and it comes into here, and we're running 60 gallons a minute through here. It does the heating from here. There's a misperception by some people of how many grams of sugar has actually been added to milk. In my hand, I hold a carton of 1% milk, or at least I hold a carton that 1% milk would go in, and you can see that 1% unflavored milk has 12 grams of sugar. Now that sugar is naturally occurring, and it's called lactose, milk sugar. And basically, so when you look at a flavored milk and you see 22 grams, you're looking at milk that's had 10 grams of sugar added, not 22. And basically, we put out a message to the flavor houses that we do business with and some that we do not do business with. And we said, look, we got this challenge. We got Sarasota County in Florida that's willing to let us try a sugar-reduced milk. So we changed from 26 grams to 22. We tried it in the Sarasota County system and had basically no pushback, no comment, nothing.
Well, what we found out then, just maybe 2 or 3 months later, the dairy took this to the other 12 districts they were serving in the state of Florida, and the decision we made here in Sarasota County went out to the rest of the state of Florida, starting with M&B. Now, Agriculture Commissioner Adam Putnam has now picked up on that, and he is going around the state talking about what happened as a result of a good partnership between Sarasota County's Food and Nutrition Service Department and our farmer.
And so today we're providing a healthier choice, healthier defined as less sugar, with chocolate milk with our kids, in part because of this relationship with M&B Dairies.
One of the very positive issues that we have going on for us in Sarasota County is we never did get away from scratch cooking. It was very popular a few years ago to bring products in that were only frozen and essentially just heat them up and serve them to children. I never believed that that was our mission here in Sarasota County, so our employees still know how to cook from scratch.
Coming from the chef background, from culinary and from the restaurants, I love that. I love not pulling things from a freezer and throwing it in the oven and then putting it on the line. We have flour and we have whole carrots that we break down and we make our soups, and a lot of these things are homemade, like what they're getting at home.
If you go into our kitchens today, you'll find no fried foods. We have removed ice cream from our counters. We make sure that every meal has at least one choice of fresh fruit or vegetable or both, and when I say every meal, I include breakfast in that. So the focus on the kinds of things that we're providing to our kids is really about nutrition.
Good morning, sunshine! How are you today, darling?
But I want to tell you something even about pizza. Kids love pizza, and our audience is children.
You know, not a lot of people know that our pizza, it's not other places from down the block. You know, our pizza does have a whole grain crust, a lower fat cheese. It has a lower sodium tomato sauce, so they call it like stealth health. It's, you know, food that maybe the kids don't realize are actually really good for them. We like to do that, but we also put out foods that they know are healthy, that they can choose and they know, yep, I learned today that an apple is really good for me, so I'm choosing that.
But what we talk about is don't just look at the slice of pizza. What are you having to go with that pizza? Are you having milk? Are you having fruits and vegetables? If so, then that can be a very balanced lunch, and for where we stand, it's one that kids will eat. It doesn't do us any good whatsoever to have a beautiful meal that kids throw in the garbage.
Once we put those things on the menu, then we then benchmark what our kids choose off of some industry standards. So for example, we pay attention to calories from fat, calories from saturated fat, vitamin A, vitamin C, some real basic nutritional measures, and we benchmark what our kids are eating against those industry standards to make sure that not only are we providing, but our kids are choosing measurably healthy choices.
For instance, if you go to a restaurant in town, you're probably going to get a really huge portion of food. We have a reasonable portion of food, appropriate to age levels and so forth. How we serve our free and reduced children is very specific. How we deal with our paying children, there's rules and regulations tied to every single thing we do. We've had people come to us from outside industry, from restaurant backgrounds and so forth, and when they arrive in child nutrition, being a federal program, they are absolutely amazed at the regulations that we have to follow. Do I think it's a good idea? Yes, I think it's an excellent idea because this is taxpayers' money helping to pay for this program. So do I think we should be highly regulated? Absolutely.
What's your name? All right, Cody. You don't have enough for a Rice Krispie treat. You need to take this home to Mom and Daddy. So they know you need lunch money, okay?
Where's my dad?
Believe it or not, in Sarasota County, nearly half of our children today qualify for free or reduced lunch, about 48%, meaning their families are living at or below the poverty level. And think about what that means. That means that for many of those students, when they show up at school, they go to breakfast, they come back to class, they go to lunch, come back to class. When they return to class, they are thinking about learning, not thinking about hunger. Because for many of those kids, the only warm, nutritious meal they get that day is the one that the staff and food service provide for them.
What parents need to know and what the community needs to know about the free and reduced meal program is that parents must apply for those meal benefits on an annual basis. If the family is already approved for food stamps, we get a listing of names of those children. So we're not doing duplicate work. We decided this year to go to an online system. We've always had paper applications in the past. This year we went to a system where parents could use a computer at home or maybe at a neighbor's house or maybe go to the school or a library and apply for meal benefits for their children. By law, there are only two criteria: household size and income. We cannot take any debt issues into consideration. We can take nothing into consideration except for household size and income. We look at every single application. There's no such thing as just saying, well, I think this person deserves it. That is not how we operate at all, because I think it's very important that we keep the system as pure and keep the integrity in this system, because we need to protect this program for the people who really do need it.
Well, I think we're very fortunate to have a very sensitive, knowledgeable food and nutrition program and department who is sensitive to the needs of schools and families. And part of their goal is to help support the needs of the specific schools. And at Alta Vista, they're very sensitive to the economic needs and our level of free and reduced lunch students so that they can provide nutritious, balanced meals so that they're able to come to school and be successful academically and learn as much as they can. We all know that they need to have the nutritious meals in order to be able to perform at the levels that we're expected to.
I had one student one year, I worked with his mom for 2 or 3 months, and it wasn't getting done, and the poor kid was eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a milk every day, and he's like, "Miss Barbara, did that application go through yet?" And the day that it went through, I thought he was gonna jump through the ceiling. He was so ecstatic that he got to eat breakfast and lunch and didn't have to worry about it anymore. It broke my heart, but at the same time, it was just it was just an overwhelming feeling.
Our total funding is just a little over $2.70. So that's to pay for everything. That's to pay for indirect costs, that's to pay for salaries, that's to pay for fresh produce, which we have on our menu every day.
One of the things that we do on the business side that's pretty creative is what we call the Farm to School program. Our goal of the Farm to School program is to buy about 50% of our total produce from local farmers. And there are really three reasons we do that. First of all, fresh fruits and vegetables are just better than their alternatives. Second, we believe that it makes more sense for those kinds of produce to ripen on the vine rather than ripen in the back of a truck on its way here. And third, if we're spending about 42% of a $16 million budget on food, why not try to spend some of that money here so it stays in our economy?
We've been a leader for years in making sure that fresh produce is on the serving line for all children. That is not new to Sarasota County. That's been going on for 20 years. We've actually had a farm to school bid here in Sarasota since 2009, but even farm to school in Sarasota County is 5 to 6 years old.
The Farm to School program is a very, very appropriate and logical program for Florida especially. We are an agriculture state. We are the winter breadbasket for the whole country. In addition, the production time in Florida coincides with our school year. We have seasonally available foods right when we need it for our school lunch program. Most of the rest of the country, they have to either import from places like Florida or work with processed food or canned food like that. So it's a perfect partnership here in Florida. This year, Sarasota County Food and Nutrition Service worked with Sarasota County Extension to produce a map that would help inform and increase the awareness of the parents and, well, the whole community of Sarasota County about our Farm to School program. The map shows the 9 farms that we were able to purchase produce last school year, where we were able to attain a level of 50% of the produce that was served in our school lunches coming from these 9 farms.
I looked everywhere across the United States to see if someone had a good farm to school bid that I could pattern our bid after. I went through all sorts of people in the Southeast and also in Washington, D.C. to see if anything existed. We couldn't find anything at all. So we created our own farm to school bid.
The Sarasota County Farm to School program is considered a leader in the state. Other counties are now looking to Sarasota County for guidance and expertise. I know our Food and Nutrition Service Director, Beverly Gerard, is a member of many advisory boards, both at the regional level and the state level, to explain how well she's been able to implement this program. And we have an agriculture community here that really wants this to work.
I love the idea of farm to school. I'm a farmer's daughter, originally from Indiana, and I love the idea of sourcing food as close to home as possible and really helping our local economy at the same time.